When a superstar breaks down in court and secret tapes leak, the world stops and listens. This is exactly what happened when Sean Diddy Combs, one of hip-hop's most powerful figures, unexpectedly crumbled under the intense glare of the courtroom spotlight. Known for his cool, confident persona and business empire, Diddy's emotional breakdown sent shockwaves through Hollywood and beyond, leaving fans and critics alike stunned. But this was just the beginning of a scandal that would unravel much deeper layers of deception and betrayal. At the heart of the controversy were secret tapes, recordings filled with explosive revelations that suddenly surfaced, turning the public's gaze toward an entirely different narrative. These tapes, allegedly leaked by none other than Jamie Foxx, a Hollywood heavyweight known for his acting chops and music, ignited a firestorm of speculation. Fox's involvement added a new twist, raising questions about motives, loyalties, and the blurred lines between friendship and vendetta in the entertainment world. What exactly was on those tapes? Why did Jamie Foxx decide to leak them at such a critical moment? And how did these events intertwine to bring down one of the most untouchable icons in the music industry? As whispers turned into headlines and rumors morphed into undeniable facts, the story captivated a global audience hungry for answers. This article promises to peel back the layers of secrecy surrounding Diddy's courtroom meltdown and the controversial role Jamie Foxx played in exposing the truth. Through detailed accounts, insider perspectives, and an examination of the fallout, we will uncover the hidden truths behind these sensational events that shook Hollywood to its core. Prepare to dive deep into a scandal where fame, power, and betrayal collide in ways no one saw coming. Before the scandal, these two icons shared more than just fame. They shared a complicated history. Sean Diddy Combs and Jamie Foxx were not just stars in their own right. They were part of a close-knit circle of Hollywood heavyweights, whose paths often crossed in music, film, and high-profile events. Their relationship, once marked by mutual respect and collaboration, would later become tangled in mistrust and controversy. Diddy's career is the stuff of legend. Rising from humble beginnings in Harlem, he quickly transformed himself into a multifaceted mogul. Rapper, producer, entrepreneur, and fashion icon. From pioneering Bad Boy Records to producing chart-topping albums and blockbusters, Diddy carved out an empire that redefined hip-hop culture. Alongside his success, however, came a string of public controversies. His name frequently appeared in headlines related to legal battles, heated feuds, and personal struggles, painting a picture of a man both adored and feared. Despite it all, Diddy's charisma and business acumen kept him at the center of the entertainment world. Jamie Foxx's ascent was equally remarkable, though on a different path. Initially known for his comedic talent and acting versatility, Foxx quickly expanded his repertoire to music, winning accolades and respect as a Grammy-winning artist. His collaborations with top artists, including Diddy, helped cement his status in the industry. Their connection was more than professional. The two often appeared together at high-profile events, shared mutual friends, and were seen as allies navigating Hollywood's complex landscape. Foxx's charm and authenticity contrasted with Diddy's larger-than-life persona, but their shared ambition and influence created a powerful bond. Yet beneath the surface of camaraderie, tensions brewed. As the stakes grew higher, cracks began to show in their friendship. What started as subtle disagreements escalated into open suspicion when whispers of betrayal emerged, accusations that Jamie Foxx might have played a part in exposing Diddy's most vulnerable moments through those leaked tapes. The once unshakable trust was shattered, replaced by a narrative of rivalry and intrigue that no one anticipated. In this tangled web of fame and fortune, the line between friend and foe blurred, setting the stage for the explosive fallout that would grip the world's attention. Suddenly, Jamie Foxx disappeared after a near-fatal stroke. What really happened behind closed doors? In the summer of 2023, the world was shocked when news broke that Jamie Foxx had been rushed to the hospital in critical condition following a severe stroke. The vibrant, multi-talented star who had dominated screens and charts seemed to vanish overnight, leaving fans and industry insiders scrambling for answers. What was initially reported as a tragic medical emergency quickly spiraled into something far more mysterious and unsettling. Jamie's hospitalization was intense and fraught with uncertainty. Admitted to a top-tier medical facility, he underwent emergency surgery and faced a grueling road to recovery. For weeks, the public was left in the dark, with only sparse updates trickling out through his representatives. The severity of his condition fueled speculation, and as Jamie remained silent, rumors began to swirl. Whispers of poisoning and foul play emerged from unnamed sources, suggesting that his stroke might not have been a simple health crisis, but the result of deliberate harm. The entertainment world, no stranger to intrigue and hidden conflicts, soon found itself captivated by the possibility that this incident was linked to darker forces behind the scenes. Among the most shocking rumors was the suggestion that Sean Diddy Combs, Jamie's former friend and now alleged adversary, might have played a role in the unfolding drama. The leaked tapes, the courtroom breakdown, and now this medical emergency seemed too connected to be coincidence. Some insiders claimed that the toxic rivalry between the two had escalated beyond verbal battles, hinting at a possible attempt to silence Jamie as he prepared to expose more secrets. Others argued that Diddy's empire was under threat, and desperate measures were being taken to protect it. Though no concrete evidence has surfaced to confirm these claims, the timing and circumstances of Jamie's sudden collapse added fuel to the fire of speculation. As Jamie fought to regain his strength, the Hollywood rumor mill churned relentlessly. Questions mounted. Was Jamie's stroke purely natural, or was there something sinister lurking beneath the surface? Could the leak of sensitive tapes and Jamie's mysterious hospitalization be parts of a larger, orchestrated scheme? And what would this mean for the already fragile relationship between two of the industry's biggest stars? In the shadowy aftermath of Jamie Foxx's near-fatal stroke, the lines between health, power, and betrayal blur, leaving the public desperate for the truth behind the silence. As this scandal continues to unravel, one thing is clear: what happened behind those closed hospital doors may hold the key to unlocking the darkest chapters of Hollywood's most explosive feud. Hidden in plain sight, secret tapes are now the center of a storm threatening to topple an empire. What started as whispered rumors has exploded into a full-blown scandal, all because of a set of recordings that allegedly exposed the inner workings of one of Hollywood's most powerful figures, Sean Diddy Combs. These secret tapes, said to contain conversations filled with incriminating evidence, have become the catalyst for a federal investigation that could reshape the entertainment landscape forever. According to insiders, the tapes reveal much more than just private discussions. They allegedly capture Diddy and his closest associates plotting strategies to manipulate industry rivals, cover up legal troubles, and even engage in unethical, if not illegal, activities. From veiled threats to carefully orchestrated cover-ups, the tapes reportedly paint a portrait of a man willing to go to any lengths to protect his empire. For many, these recordings are not only shocking, but potentially damning. The question that immediately arises is, how did these tapes come to light? The answer lies with Jamie Foxx, whose involvement in leaking the recordings has thrust him into the center of this turbulent saga. Sources suggest that Jamie, once a trusted confidant within Diddy's circle, obtained the tapes through a mix of savvy digital sleuthing and confidential informants close to Diddy's inner circle. Motivated by a combination of personal betrayal and a desire to reveal the truth, Jamie decided to bring these explosive files to the surface, despite the risks involved. Fox's decision to leak the tapes was not without consequence. The move shattered any remaining illusions about their friendship and set off a chain reaction that has engulfed both men in legal and public battles. The tapes have become the focal point of a federal investigation probing allegations ranging from financial fraud to obstruction of justice. Law enforcement agencies are said to be combing through hours of audio, piecing together evidence that could lead to indictments and dramatic courtroom showdowns. The impact of the tapes extends beyond just the legal realm. In Hollywood, the revelations have sent shockwaves through the industry, disrupting business deals, prompting sponsorship withdrawals, and forcing major collaborators to reconsider their alliances. The scandal has ignited fierce debates about loyalty, ethics, and the dark undercurrents running beneath the glitz and glamour of showbiz. As the investigation unfolds, the world watches closely, eager to see how much these secret tapes will change the narrative around Diddy's legacy. Will they finally bring justice and accountability? Or will the power and influence behind the scenes manage to suppress the truth? The answers remain uncertain, but one thing is clear. These tapes have cracked open a door that many hoped would stay firmly shut. In the midst of this maelstrom, the stakes couldn't be higher. The secret tapes are no longer just recordings. They are a symbol of a seismic shift in power, a threat to an empire built on fame, influence, and sometimes deception. As this storm rages on, the truth that emerges could rewrite Hollywood history forever. As the evidence mounts, the courtroom becomes a battleground where no one is safe from scrutiny. The trial of Sean Diddy Combs, one of the most influential figures in entertainment, has become an intense public spectacle. a high-stakes drama unfolding under the unforgiving spotlight of justice. Once untouchable, Diddy now faces a series of serious charges that threaten not only his empire, but his personal freedom and legacy. The charges against Diddy are as complex as they are severe. At the center are allegations of financial fraud, conspiracy, and obstruction of justice tied to his sprawling business operations. Prosecutors contend that Diddy and several of his top executives orchestrated schemes to manipulate contracts, launder money, and intimidate witnesses. These claims, if proven, could result in hefty fines, a dismantling of his business interests, and possibly prison time. The weight of these accusations has sent shockwaves through Hollywood and the corporate world alike. From the very first day, the courtroom has been charged with tension. Opening statements set a dramatic tone, with the prosecution laying out a meticulously detailed narrative backed by the secret tapes that Jamie Foxx leaked. These recordings, filled with damning conversations, were played to the jury and audience alike, revealing Diddy's ruthless tactics behind closed doors. The defense, on the other hand, painted a very different picture, arguing that the tapes were taken out of context, manipulated, and meant to tarnish Diddy's reputation. One of the most gripping moments in the trial came when Diddy himself took the stand. Known for his unshakable confidence, the mogul surprised everyone by showing vulnerability. Overcome by the pressure and the emotional toll of the proceedings, he broke down in tears, revealing a side rarely seen by the public. This raw display stirred mixed reactions. Some saw it as genuine remorse and humanity, while others interpreted it as a strategic move to garner sympathy. Throughout the trial, defense attorneys aggressively challenged the credibility of the witnesses and the authenticity of the tapes. They argued that many of the key players had personal vendettas, pointing fingers at Jamie Foxx's involvement and suggesting that the entire case was part of a vendetta to destroy Diddy. The courtroom battles were fierce, with lawyers sparring over every detail, from the chain of custody of the tapes to the motives behind their leak. The public reaction has been equally polarized. Fans of Diddy remain fiercely loyal, rallying behind him and questioning the motives of those involved in the case. Critics, however, see the trial as a long overdue reckoning for a man who wielded power without accountability. Social media erupted with heated debates, while news outlets dissected every testimony and legal maneuver. As the trial continues, the emotional and legal stakes escalate. The courtroom has become a theater where not just legal arguments but reputations and futures hang in the balance. Each day brings new revelations and dramatic confrontations, keeping the world on edge. Ultimately, the trial of Sean Diddy Combs is more than just a legal proceeding. It's a profound moment of reckoning in Hollywood's complex world of fame, fortune, and power. As the evidence piles up and emotions run high, one thing is certain: no one in this courtroom is safe from scrutiny, and the outcome will reverberate far beyond the walls of justice. Behind the glitz and glamour lie harrowing stories that are finally being told. Beneath the sparkling surface of Hollywood's elite parties and luxury lifestyles, a darker reality has emerged, one of abuse, manipulation, and betrayal. As the courtroom drama surrounding Sean Diddy Combs unfolds, the voices of those who suffered in silence are coming forward, revealing a chilling side to the scandal that has shocked the world. Among the most compelling and heartbreaking testimonies are those of Cassie Ventura, a former protege of Diddy, and Jane Doe, a pseudonymous victim who bravely chose to share her experience despite immense fear and pressure. Both women's stories paint a disturbing picture of the power dynamics at play behind closed doors, far removed from the red carpets and flashing cameras. Cassie, once seen as a rising star groomed by Diddy himself, recounted moments of intense coercion and emotional manipulation. According to her testimony, what were initially presented as exclusive freak-off parties, events meant to celebrate freedom and artistic expression, quickly devolved into situations rife with exploitation. Attendees, many of whom were young women aspiring to advance their careers, found themselves pressured into uncomfortable and abusive scenarios. Cassie described how refusal to comply with demands often led to threats of blacklisting or career sabotage, forcing victims into silence. Jane Doe's testimony echoed these grim revelations. She detailed instances where boundaries were repeatedly crossed and consent was disregarded in the name of maintaining favor within Diddy's influential circle. The freak-off parties, she explained, became a venue where power was wielded not just over business deals, but over people's bodies and lives. Her courage in stepping forward has inspired others to share their own stories, creating a wave of testimonies that expose a systemic pattern of abuse and control. These accounts have significantly strengthened the prosecution's case. The testimonies provide a human face to the legal charges, transforming abstract accusations into tangible evidence of harm. Prosecutors argue that these stories reveal a calculated environment where intimidation and coercion were tools used to maintain dominance. The emotional weight carried by the victims' narratives has resonated deeply with the jury and the public, challenging the defense's attempts to dismiss the allegations as isolated incidents or misunderstandings. Moreover, the victims' testimonies have shed light on the broader culture of silence that enabled such behavior to persist for years. Many spoke of the fear of retaliation, the stigma of speaking out, and the complicity of those who look the other way. This climate of fear helped protect Diddy's empire for so long. But now, those walls are crumbling as victims demand justice. The courtroom has seen powerful moments when these survivors confronted their abuser directly, their voices steady despite the trauma they relived. Their bravery has not only intensified the emotional impact of the trial, but also shifted the narrative from one focused solely on power struggles to one centered on accountability and healing. As these heartbreaking stories continue to unfold, they remind the world that behind the fame and fortune lie real people with real pain. The victim's courage to come forward is a pivotal force driving this case toward justice, ensuring that the glitz and glamour no longer mask the suffering beneath. In the end, their testimonies are more than just evidence. They are a call to action, demanding that Hollywood, and society at large, recognize and confront the abuses of power that have too often been hidden in the shadows. In laughter, sometimes the darkest truths are revealed. Jamie Foxx's highly anticipated Netflix special marked not just a triumphant return to the spotlight after his near-fatal stroke, but also a bold moment of unfiltered honesty. Known for blending sharp wit with heartfelt storytelling, Fox used the stage to process his harrowing experience and, intriguingly, to send subtle but unmistakable messages about the scandal that has rocked Hollywood. Throughout the special, Jamie opened up about his brush with death with a mix of humor and candor. He recounted the ordeal of his hospitalization, the fear, the uncertainty, and the slow, painful journey back to health. The audience was drawn in not just by his resilience, but by the way he transformed trauma into comedy, a skill that has long been central to his appeal. Yet, beneath the laughs, there was an unmistakable edge, a darker undertone that hinted at the deeper battles he was fighting off stage. Interspersed with jokes about celebrity culture, power, and betrayal were pointed references that many interpreted as veiled jabs at Sean Diddy Combs. Fox's humor danced around the recent scandal, dropping lines about friends turning foes, hidden agendas, and when the people you trust try to take you down. These subtle digs, delivered with Fox's trademark charm, sent ripples through the audience and quickly sparked widespread speculation. Fans and critics alike pored over the special for clues, dissecting each joke for hidden meanings. Social media buzzed with theories about which moments were simply comedy and which were thinly disguised confessions or warnings. For many, Jamie's performance wasn't just entertainment, it was a statement, a way of reclaiming his narrative amid the chaos of leaked tapes, courtroom battles, and public scrutiny. The special also touched on themes of resilience and redemption, with Jamie asserting his determination to rise above the scandal and the setbacks. His message was clear. Despite everything, he was still standing, still fighting, and still ready to speak his truth, however cleverly disguised it might be in humor. Public reaction was a mixture of admiration and intrigue. Supporters praised Fox for his courage and creativity, viewing the special as a powerful example of turning pain into art. Others saw it as a calculated move, a strategic effort to influence public opinion and perhaps even the ongoing legal battles. Regardless of perspective, one thing was undeniable. Jamie Foxx had once again captured the spotlight, this time on his own terms. In a world where the truth is often hidden behind carefully constructed images and statements, Jamie Foxx's Netflix special offered a rare glimpse into the shadows behind the headlines. It reminded everyone that sometimes laughter is not just a release, but a weapon and a shield in the face of betrayal and adversity. As the scandal continues to unfold, this special stands as a dark twist on comedy, one where humor becomes a stage for revealing the complicated, painful truths lurking beneath Hollywood's glamorous surface. When silence meets suspicion, conspiracy theories fill the void. In the wake of Jamie Foxx's sudden hospitalization, Diddy's courtroom drama, and the leak of secret tapes, whispers have grown louder, transforming into wild rumors and sprawling conspiracy theories that dominate social media feeds and late-night conversations alike. The truth, obscured by legal constraints and public relations spin, has left a vacuum that speculation eagerly fills. One of the most persistent and chilling theories revolves around the notion of deliberate poisoning. Some insiders and armchair detectives suggest Jamie Foxx's near-fatal stroke wasn't an unfortunate medical incident, but a calculated attack intended to silence him before he could reveal more damaging information. This theory gains traction due to the timing of Foxx's hospitalization, coinciding with the release of incriminating tapes and mounting legal pressure on Diddy. Supporters of this theory point to unexplained symptoms, inconsistent reports from the hospital, and the suddenness of his collapse as evidence of foul play. Adding fuel to the fire are rumors of cover-ups involving powerful figures within Diddy's inner circle, who allegedly work to suppress information and manipulate public narratives. These rumors extend to accusations of bribed officials, tampered evidence, and even threats against witnesses, painting a picture of a covert campaign to protect an empire built on more than just music and business acumen. Mysterious deaths and illnesses linked to this circle of influence have further intensified speculation. Unverified reports of sudden disappearances and tragic accidents among those connected to the scandal have fed into a growing belief that there's a darker, more dangerous game being played behind the scenes. Each new incident is dissected online, often with little regard for facts. But the pattern of misfortune fuels an ever-expanding web of suspicion. Social media has played a pivotal role in shaping and spreading these theories. Platforms like Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram have become battlegrounds where truth, misinformation, and speculation collide. Influencers and fans alike share insider information, sometimes blurring the lines between fact and fiction. Hashtags related to the scandal trend regularly, and viral videos dissect every public appearance, statement, and legal document. The rapid spread of rumors makes it difficult for the public to separate credible information from sensationalized hearsay. In this charged environment, the search for truth becomes even more complicated. As silence from key players persists, conspiracy theories are unlikely to fade anytime soon, keeping the scandal alive in the court of public opinion, where judgment often precedes evidence. When empires crumble, everyone feels the shockwaves. The scandal surrounding Sean Diddy Combs and Jamie Foxx has sent tremors through Hollywood and beyond, disrupting careers, reshaping public perception, and igniting urgent calls for accountability and reform. For Diddy, the fallout has been swift and severe. Once revered as a trailblazer and kingpin of hip-hop and entertainment, his reputation now hangs in the balance. Endorsement deals have been paused or canceled, business partners are distancing themselves, and his fan base remains divided. The courtroom battles and leaked tapes have painted a portrait far removed from the larger-than-life image he cultivated. Whether he can rebuild what's been fractured remains uncertain, but the scandal has undoubtedly altered the trajectory of his career. Meanwhile, Jamie Foxx's journey has taken a remarkably different turn. His near-death experience and subsequent Netflix special have positioned him as a survivor and a truth-teller. By confronting his trauma with humor and honesty, Foxx has reclaimed his voice amid chaos. His openness has earned widespread admiration and sympathy, casting him not just as a victim, but as a symbol of resilience in the face of betrayal. Foxx's comeback is a reminder that even in the darkest moments, there is room for renewal and empowerment. Hollywood itself is reckoning with the scandal's broader implications. Industry insiders, activists, and fans alike are demanding systemic changes to prevent abuses of power and to protect those vulnerable within entertainment circles. The scandal has amplified conversations about transparency, accountability, and the often hidden costs of fame. Studios and agencies are under pressure to adopt stricter policies and foster safer environments for artists and employees. As the dust settles, the ripple effects of this scandal continue to shape lives. Friendships have been fractured, careers redirected, and cultural conversations ignited. The case has become a cautionary tale, a vivid reminder that no empire, no matter how powerful, is immune to collapse when built on secrecy and deception. In the end, the scandal is more than just a headline. It's a transformative moment, one that will influence Hollywood's future and the lives of those caught in its wake for years to come. The trial is far from over, but the future of everyone involved hangs in the balance. As courtroom battles rage on and the public watches every move, speculation intensifies about what the final verdict could mean, not just for Sean Diddy Combs and Jamie Foxx, but for the entire entertainment industry. One potential outcome is a conviction on several counts, including financial fraud and obstruction of justice, which could lead to significant prison time and crippling fines for Diddy. Such a verdict would mark a dramatic fall for one of Hollywood's most influential figures, shaking the foundations of his business empire and forever altering his legacy. On the other hand, a not guilty verdict, whether on some or all charges, remains a possibility, especially given the defense's efforts to cast doubt on the evidence and question the credibility of key witnesses, including Jamie Foxx. Regardless of the trial's outcome, legal consequences will likely extend beyond the courtroom. Diddy's companies could face regulatory scrutiny, loss of partnerships, and restructuring, while other executives implicated may also face charges. For Jamie Foxx, the trial has already transformed his public image, and his continued involvement could influence ongoing investigations or settlements. Broader industry implications loom large. This high-profile case has spotlighted issues of power abuse, transparency, and the need for stronger protections within entertainment circles. A verdict against Diddy could catalyze reforms, encouraging studios, agencies, and artists to prioritize ethical behavior and accountability. Conversely, a dismissal might fuel calls for more rigorous legal frameworks to address these concerns. As the trial continues, every hearing, testimony, and legal motion will be scrutinized, not just for what they reveal about the accused, but for what they signal about Hollywood's future. The verdict will echo far beyond the courtroom walls, shaping narratives about justice, celebrity, and the price of fame. In this high-stakes drama, the only certainty is uncertainty. The decisions made in the coming weeks will redefine lives, careers, and perhaps the very culture of an industry forever. This isn't just about one man, it's about a system that needs to change. The scandal involving Sean Diddy Combs and Jamie Foxx has captured headlines, but its significance runs far deeper. At its core, this saga is a stark reminder of the urgent need for truth, accountability, and systemic reform within the entertainment industry. For too long, powerful figures have operated behind a veil of secrecy, their actions shielded by fame and influence. Victims' voices have often been silenced or ignored, lost beneath layers of glamour and business interests. The testimonies emerging from this case shed light on the pain and exploitation that thrive in these shadows, demanding not just attention but action. Justice in this context is about more than legal verdicts. It's about acknowledging harm, validating experiences, and dismantling structures that enable abuse. Holding individuals accountable is crucial, but so is confronting the broader culture that allows such misconduct to persist. This trial has opened a door, challenging Hollywood to examine itself honestly and implement meaningful change. There is hope amidst the turmoil. The courage of survivors coming forward and the increasing public insistence on transparency are signs of progress. Calls for safer work environments, stricter oversight, and empowerment of the vulnerable are growing louder and gaining traction. Industry leaders and policymakers now face mounting pressure to respond, not with empty promises, but with concrete reforms. Ultimately, the bigger picture is about creating a future where the pursuit of fame and fortune never comes at the cost of integrity and human dignity. It's about building an entertainment world that values respect, honesty, and safety as fiercely as it does success. As this chapter unfolds, it offers a chance for reflection, reckoning, and renewal. A chance to ensure that justice and truth are not just headlines, but lasting principles that guide the path forward. Now that you know the truth, what will you do with it? This scandal has exposed more than just the fall of a superstar. It's a call to all of us to stay informed, question what we hear, and demand accountability from those in power. Don't let the story end here. If this deep dive into Hollywood's hidden battles has opened your eyes, share your thoughts below. Your voice matters in keeping the conversation alive. Like, comment, and share this with friends who need to hear the truth. For the latest updates on this unfolding story and many more, subscribe and follow our channel. Together, we can shine a light on the shadows, seek justice, and push for a future where transparency and integrity aren't just ideals, but reality. Stay curious, stay critical, stay empowered.